The movie begins with an ongoing Eyo festival. While everybody was celebrating, one of the Eyo masquerade enters into Oba's house. Raising up his veil, he brings out a gun and kills Oba's father. Quick disclaimer. This recap is not meant to replace the movie itself, nor should it stop you from watching the full movie in its entirety on Prime Video. Also, note that this recap contains heavy spoilers. If you are new here, please consider subscribing and also turn on the notification icon. Hi, this is Sam. Welcome to the Film Village. The movie continues by showing us the many vices of Isale Eko, from assassinations to robbery to drug pushers and to illegal gambling. Now we see Oba and his friend Ifeanyi, also known as Pana, armed with knife and robbing a woman. The woman hit Ife's hand. Then Oba put his own knife to the throat of her young daughter. They ordered her to give them her bag. She initially refused, but seeing her daughter cry, she gave them the bag. She even tried to give them a gold ring, but the boys left. Apparently, what they needed was just the bag. After taking the money, young Oba tries to throw away the passports they found in the bag. His friend stops him, saying the woman may still need it. Their little sister, Gift, supports Oba to throw it away, that it could lead them into trouble. They disagreed for a while, even about who is going to be the capon of the group. Then they come to a settlement on who is the boss. Oba says Ifeanyi can be the boss as long as Tenny will be his girlfriend. Later, we see Akinwale, also known as Ninalowo, meet with their capon, aka Eleniyan, the leader of all the gangs. He informs Baba that he is tired of this street life and he has saved up some money to start up his own legit business. Eleniyan discloses to him that there is no leaving the gang except through death. The only other option is to join him and become his successor since he will be retiring soon. So news begins to spread that Ninalowo is going to become the next Eleniyan. The woman that was robbed earlier has also come to report to the capon. They brought Oba and the bag he stole. Oba refuses to snitch on his friend and claims he did the robbery all alone. Asking his name, the capon realizes that Oba is a son of an acquaintance. He draws him closer and asks him to return the bag to the woman because Omoaye never brings harm to Omoaye, which means you don't bring harm to your own people. Young Oba says he understands, but the woman has already reported the case to the police. Baba then tells the woman that since she has reported to the police, she should then go to the police to help her get the bag. He lets Oba go with the bag. Outside, Oba sees his girlfriend, Tenny. Excitedly, they call each other. Ninalowo calls Oba, asking him how he got to know that the woman has reported to the police. Did he see her going to the station? Oba says no, but since it took the woman that long to come report to Baba, and considering that the police station is just 15 minutes away, then she must have first gone to the police station to report. Ninalowo praised him for being smart and also for not snitching on his friend. Then he asked him to please return the bag, which he did. Ninalowo then gives him money and tells him to come visit him at Rika Street if he needs anything. Fortunately, he lives close to Tenny's house. As he was happily looking at the money, Oba's mother caught him, collected the money, throws it at Ninalowo, screams at him, and then take him to the church for deliverance. They flog the hell out of Oba, all in the name of prayer and deliverance. After all that, Oba had to run away from home. He heads to Ninalowo's house and begins to live with him. Ninalowo takes him as his own son, tells him not to worry or be bothered, but to enjoy himself. Then he leaves the room. Tenny calls Oba from the window. As they were gisting, Kazim calls her away from the window. The following day, Oba's mother came to get her son back. Ninalowo and his wife refuses to let Oba go. Oba also insists that he is not leaving that house. In anger, his mother then placed a curse on him. Oh my goodness. She says the path he has chosen will lead to his death, just like his father's. Later that day, Oba escorts Ninalowo to a meeting with Olorogun, another godfather in the political space and the present governor of Lagos State. After the meeting, that night he also escorted him to the hideout where they butcher those whom they have issues with. After warning Oba not to step out of the car while he goes to see someone inside, Oba hears a loud scream and he leaves the car to check. Getting inside, he saw Oba and Kazim torturing a man and killing him. Kazim was confident that Oba would eventually take their place in the job since he does not show fear like others. He says Oba is born for this type of work. Ninalowo refutes that statement, saying no one is born for such work. Remember that earlier Ninalowo has shown his lack of interest in that kind of work and has planned to start his own legit business. Anyway, Days later, a woman come crying to Nollywood to help her retrieve her child who has been lured into prostitution by another gang leader called London. London promised to take her abroad, but ended up using her at his club. Nollywood and Kazim with their goons headed up to London's club, fully armed to retrieve the girl. This is the first confrontation of the two parties. London had to let the girl go after seeing that they were outnumbered and overpowered by Nollywood's men. Nollywood enrolls Oba, Ifeanyi, and Gift in school. He takes them as his own child and starts training them up. He says he does not want them to join the street life, but he wants a good life for them. Later, Oba and Tenny meet at the playground where the children goes to swim. They both talk about the kind of future they want. Oba tells her what he would like to grow up to become, and also says even though he wants to become an Eruku or an Alaye, that his adoptive father, Nollywood, wants him to go to school to study and grow up to become an economist like the CBN governor. And Tenny also says she would like to grow up to become a lawyer, then a son, and then a judge, so she can sentence all the wicked politicians in Nigeria to jail. As they were speaking, Ifeanyi also mentioned his own goal, that he would like to grow up to become a musician, even more popular than Two-Face Idibia. Then he takes them to Ifeanyi's house. He leaves Oba and tells him that he will be back to pick him up later. On his way, Nollywood was murdered. This led to a brutal and gory fight between London's men and Nino's men. On that day, about 100 men were killed and buried from that violence. Then the movie jumps forward 15 years after Nollywood's death. Oba, now a young adult, comes to visit Nollywood's grave with his friend. They do this every year to mark his anniversary. Since Nollywood's death, Kazim now takes his place as the head of the gang and the next Elenion. Oba and his friend now works for him, and things get extremely harder during the election seasons. One day, Oba and Gift were sent to bring in Wemimo, one of Kazim's boys who has also been stealing from him by the side. As punishment, he takes him to the slaughterhouse and killed him there. After, he informs Oba that Tenny, who now lives overseas, is set to return to Nigeria, and he has appointed Oba to be her personal bodyguard. He gave him some money and promised to take good care of him. He says since Nollywood is no more, he will treat Oba as his own child. That night, when Oba gets home, he hides his money at the usual place, reminiscing on his time with Nollywood, and then we see that he has been learning how to code with plans that after the election season, he will relocate to San Francisco. Later, he leaves to the club where Ify sings. While meeting with some clients needing his help, Cash, the son of one of the late Nollywood's crew that defected to join London's gang. I hope you still remember that London and Nollywood are rivals. Now their progeny has continued from where their mentor stops. On their way home, they met Ify's baby mama, whom he had neglected and run away from. She is angry at Ifeanyi for leaving her at the hospital even after having a baby for him. He intends to fight Ifeanyi, but Oba steps in. He calms the situation and promised to make things right between them. They took her home. Ifeanyi's mother collected the baby and named him. As friends, Ifeanyi shows his appreciation. The next day, they head to Kazim's house. There, they met their childhood friends, Tenny. They all greeted each other.
Oh, my boo! My crush! My sugar banana! My boo! My baby boo-boo!
Then, Tenny's father, Kazim, sent them on their separate errands. He asked Oba to escort Tenny to her new house and protect her there, while Gift is to go with a gang member named Terrible to check a container they've been expecting. Getting there, Gift realizes that the consignments were guns needed to cause violence during the upcoming election. Kazim and Ifeanyi goes to meet London to pass a message to him for defecting from the ruling governor's side, who has been in power for over 20 years, to join his competitor. While they were arguing, he killed him and then run off before London's boys could catch up with them. That night, Oba and Tenny had a lengthy heart-to-heart talk about the past and what could have been. Here, Oba expresses how unhappy he is that he couldn't complete his education. Tenny tells him not to worry about it. She says education does not really matter. Rather, power is vital. With power, even thousands of men will die in your behalf for a cause they know nothing about. Using her own dad as an example. After they arrived home, that night, Kazim calls Ifeanyi and asks him to go and kill the Baba, the owner of the shop where London was killed. He says the killing must be carried out that night so he won't spill the pin or get enticed by the 5 million naira reward put out by the opposition party to find out who the perpetrator of the killing is. He noticed Ifeanyi is a bit timid, and for him to do what he asked, he told him that the music producer that will help him become popular will be coming to the club that night, and he has made arrangements for him to perform, and asked Ifeanyi to hurry up so he can meet up with the producer. Of course, Ifeanyi is scared since he hasn't killed anyone before. Quickly, he rushes to meet Oba to help him out. Oba promised to be there for him. He promised to go with him to meet the Baba, not to kill the Baba, but to make him realize that he has to leave the state immediately. While Ifeanyi goes to the Baba's house, waiting for Oba to arrive, Gift was at the club waiting for Ifeanyi to also arrive and perform for the producer. Oba, who was supposed to meet with Ifeanyi, was on a quick errand with Tenny. He drove her to where she went shopping. In a rush to quickly get to Ifeanyi to help him, in anger, he pushes Tenny, who was delaying too much, into the vehicle to hurry up and begins to drive. Tenny asks why he is angry, and Oba gave a thought-provoking speech that truly all politicians in Nigeria should think about. He complains of his displeasure in how Kazim uses them to commit many atrocities while he protects and takes care of his own child. He says he is angry about how underage children are being used by Kazim for his selfish gains. Tenny also says she is not in support of his action and she did not even ask to be born into that life. Oba says if Kazim could take care of his own children like this, who is going to take care of his own family or even his own children later? Suddenly, they were hit by another car. They intend to kidnap Tenny. Of course, she brought out a gun, and after he stands still, someone whistled at the boys. The kidnappers had to leave them alone. Oba drove her home, where they both help each other clean up the bloodstains. Slowly, they began to kiss and then moved the ministry from the restroom to the bedroom. Anxious Ifeanyi could no longer wait and goes in to kill the Baba. The Baba begins to beg him, and he promised to leave the state first thing in the morning. Ifeanyi then leaves the Baba alone, and a few seconds later, another person enters and kills the Baba. Now it was time for Ifeanyi to sing, and he could not be found. While Gifts tried to call him on the phone to hurry back to the club, at that very moment, Ifeanyi was attacked, butchered into pieces, and then shot. Wait, at this time, Oba and Tenny were doing mommy and daddy, forgetting his friend who needed his help. Gift calls the rest of the boys, and they rush to the crime scene, only to find their beloved friend in his own pool of blood. Suddenly, Oba remembers Ifeanyi and gets up. He calls Gift, who then informed him that Ifeanyi has been killed. If you are an avid movie watcher, you would have seen this coming. This is one emotionally draining scene. At his wakekeeping, Ifeanyi's mother gave an emotional eulogy. Then she vows that although she accepted the killing of Ifeanyi's father by the gangs in the past, she will never accept the killing of her son. This is the scene where she made that famous statement we all saw in the trailer. Isale Eko no go sleep until the wrath of God is felt. And truly, the next scene was the fight between the two gangs. All hell broke loose. Oba goes to meet Ekun to seek revenge. This action scene is almost too realistic to watch. The blood was just too much. Did I say the blood was just too much? And too real too. Yes, the blood was too much and too real. If only Shantytown could learn from this. Ifeanyi's baby mama and Gift held their own ground. Oba meets with Cash on a one-on-one fist fight in which he got the beating of his life and was later tied up. While tied to a chair, Oba blames Ekun for killing Ifeanyi. He says Ekun, who was a former member of Nollywood, therefore it's not right for him to kill his own. He says Omaye ki jojo aye. But Ekun made it clear to Oba that he is not responsible for Ifeanyi's death. At that moment, he disclosed the secret to Oba that even though he Ekun defected to join London's gang, Kazim is actually the person who killed Ifeanyi. He says the Baba confessed to his boys that Kazim Eleniyan was the one that killed his boss, London, at the Baba's shop because of his support for a female candidate, Mrs. Bamidele. Hearing that, he quickly reported to Olorogun, the governor of Lagos State. Olorogun invites both gang leaders to a meeting. At the meeting, Ekun says Olorogun should give him the permission to avenge his boss by killing Kazim. Kazim denied that he wasn't the one who killed London, that it was while they were both arguing, London brought out a gun and Ifeanyi shoots him. That was a lie, and Ekun sensed it. Ekun told Oba that he also senses that Kazim and the governor had earlier planned to blame the killing on someone else, and innocent Ifeanyi is the person they choose. Oba was surprised, but he was also convinced that Ekun is telling the truth. To end it, Ekun tells Oba that should Oba be willing to take Kazim to seek out revenge, he is willing to provide whatever he needs to take down Kazim and pay for the killing of his friend. Oba then apologized to Ekun. That night, Oba and Gift talked and shed some tears, mourning their friend Ifeanyi. Remember the phrase, "Omo aye kin jeju aye," one should never hurt his own. But Kazim has broken that code and he has to pay for the death of Pana, Ifeanyi. First, they captured Terrible, the person who pulled the trigger in killing Ifeanyi. They made him tell them and take them to where Kazim has his weapon stored. While begging for his life, Terrible further revealed more secrets about the death of Oba's biological father that an Eyo masquerade killed in the beginning of the movie. Wait, let me break it down for you. Oba's father and Olorogun were mates. But Oba's father knows the true intention of Olorogun and why he wants to be the governor of Lagos State. He knows it's for his own selfish reason. That is why Oba's father supported Bamidele's father. But for Olorogun to become governor, he had to do away with Oba's father. And who did they send to kill him? Yes, you guessed it. Kazim was the one disguised as an Eyo masquerade to kill Oba's father 20 years ago. This revelation got Oba extremely angry, and then he kills Terrible and blows up the storage. The next morning, Oba calls his biological mother to say goodbye, telling her that she may never hear his voice again. The mother insists to not hear him out, and before he could tell her that he knows who killed his father, she drops the call. Oba gathers all the gang leaders of Lagos, from Isale Eko to Mushin to Fadeyi and all over, and they plan on how to avenge the death of their boss and their friends. Now, on the day that London was to be buried, the Eyo masquerade came out to honor him since he is a true son of Isale Eko. While the after party of the burial was going on, some Eyo masquerade enters into the hall. Kazim, who had once used this means to perform an assassination in the past, could sense something is not right. Suddenly, the Eyo lifts up their veil, bringing out guns. They begins to shoot at everyone in the audience. You know that song, Party Scatter? Yes, Party Scattered indeed. The party scattered, lots of killing. Kazim escapes to the roof of the building, and Oba followed and caught up with him. Kazim insists they drop their gun and use their fist instead. They both got few punches in, with Kazim taking the lead most times. That's not to say Oba himself did not land some few punches. Yeah, he did. Being younger and more agile, he was able to counter some blows. He leads Kazim to the edge of the roof to throw him down. Kazim begins to beg and then hits Oba right in his right, oh my goodness. From experience, I can tell you, that's not a place to hit a man at all. Yeah. While holding on to his Kazim picks up a gun, points it at Oba to shoot. Oba closes his eyes, and then we hear gunshots. Oba opens his eyes, only to find out that it was Gift who fired the shot. Gift shoots again and again at Kazim, to which Kazim falls from the roof, crash landing on a car beneath. His daughter Tenny saw her dad on the car, screaming and trying to go to him. She looks up, and to her surprise, she sees Oba and Gift. This is just karma, because Tenny's father killed Oba's father. Oba also killed Tenny's father. Technically, it was Gift who killed him, but let's just go with Oba having his revenge. The movie ends with Oba at his beach resort with Ifeanyi's baby mama. As Ifeanyi's mother prepares the dining, Oba goes out of the house to welcome his guest. Yes, Mrs. Bamidele, the candidate which Oba's father had earlier supported. They both greet themselves and promise each other that nothing, as in no one, is going to make her lose the election. As the camera pans away from the beach, the caption appears on the screen that says, Obalola, that is Oba, and his gang have been declared wanted by the Nigerian police, who have sworn to bring them to justice. Then the movie ends. I must say, If you don't go and watch this movie for yourself, you are truly missing out. It's a fun ride and an exposition into the life of the gangs in Lagos and their connection with politics. Perhaps the present political tension in Nigeria is also what has helped this movie quickly become relatable to everyone watching it. Well, for this reason, we rate this movie a good 8.5 over 10. What do you have to say about the movie? Please tell us in the comment section. Thanks for watching this video. For more amazing content and film reviews, please subscribe to this channel. Finally, I am Sam, and this is the Film Village.